Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am Fearless Floyd. And thank you, everyone, for, reaching out to me through the various means, through Telegram, emails, phone calls, texts, whatever. Um, you know, Sadly, about 50% of the people that do contact me, as I say, are in critical care or on life support because they went and got involved with somebody who didn't have their best interests at heart. And, I've profiled the person we're going to talk about tonight repeatedly. I did multiple videos on him. Well, he somehow conned Google, Alphabet, aka YouTube, into believing that his name was copyrighted and had a handful of the videos removed from YouTube. He even went so far as to contact every person above my parole officer, all the way up to the director of the parole division. Absolutely. Got me called into the office and had a little sit down powwow with the assistant regional director here in Houston, Texas. And we all walked out laughing our ass off because I told him. I predicted the future in that room and it all came true. Because you can predict what a legal moron is going to do because they're morons. They don't understand the law. They don't know how to apply the law. Go look them up in Pacer. Go look them up in their jurisdiction. If they don't have the bona fides, turn them off. Go away. There are so many of them out there scamming you folks out of big time money. And I'm like, where's all this mana coming from? Because I'm not scamming anybody and I'm not getting rich by any means. Okay. It's a hard economy. And I think everybody's struggling. I'm one of them. Now gas is going through the roof. I'm not going to get on the commentary on Trump. I'll do that after this video. So I wanted to just talk about, what people do. Now, I was contacted because somebody found the video that I did on him. And again, this dude's out here selling trusts like he did with his trust classes. And in 9 months of trust classes, once a week, nobody in that trust class had ever seen a trust document, a trust, or even really talked about trusts. Trust law. They just got bamboozled for however long that the legal moron could bamboozle these folks. So confused were they were having to pay for consultations with their admins, and the admins were like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about, blah, 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 blah. Now you're really confused because you're paying for this guy to teach you, and he's obviously teaching you incorrect because his own admins are telling you different. But if you say anything, boom, you get excommunicated out of the community or shamed because it's a closed community. It's a cult. It was the lone wolf cult, not to be confused with the bad wolf, who's James C. Lovett. No, we're talking about Patricia Moreno. Fill in the blanks, folks. Just go through my shows and you'll find this coward, this thief, this scammer, this liar. So we briefly, my guest and I briefly went over what happened. I didn't get into really detail. I asked him, flat out, hey, will you come on and do a show, talk about your experience? He agreed. He's not going to show his face, and that's fine. However you want to come on the show, that's up to you. I want to protect you just as much as, I would you do with my own personal property. But I want you to hear his story. I want you to hear exactly what Patricia did to this man. Not only is he a man, he's a veteran. Not only is he a veteran, he's a disabled veteran. And nothing pisses me off more when somebody takes advantage of somebody that's in a questionable situation. I don't know everything about this. I just, we went through kind of like, oh, wow, and I'm just like, hey, I wish I had more time to talk. We come on to a show. And like I do with a lot of my guests, when they first come on, I leave that blank wall there. So as they tell me the story, I can question them and you can come along with me. You can learn how to listen like I learned how to listen to people and ask them questions and pause them and make them be more specific in their story. People are often very general in how they describe the events. So I don't even know how he found Patricia. I don't know how they interacted. I know that, they did communicate, they had a talk. And then when, hey, where's the trust? It was crickets. And I covered this before in a few videos. I don't care where you go get your trust. I really don't. If you want to buy one from me, that's great. If you want to take a class, that's great too. If you want to go get one from Grok or OpenAI or whatever, that's fine too. There's a gazillion of them over in Scribe. Some of them are very complex. Some of them are super simple. So there's many different ways you can get a trust to set it up and operate it. But a lot of times people go to somebody else and pay big money for a trust, and then they don't even know if it's a functionable trust. And they end up coming back to Ann or myself and end up buying a book or class or whatever. So obviously my guest has been taken. So before I even get him on the show, and he and I have not talked about this, and I swear to tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, help me God. Just so y'all know I'm on straight up and up. Since my guest has been screwed over, and I did this for all the lone wolf pack cult survivors, I offered him a discounted on the class. Well, for my guest, I'm going to let him go to thefearlessfloydshow.com, go through all the books, and whatever book he wants to pick out, I'm going to send him a soft cover copy. Just because I can. Just because I am a good guy. I am on the right side of this. I'm not a scammer, and I hate people who I hate the scammers who screw people over, regardless if they're disabled or if they're a veteran or whatever. They're another human being. They had to hustle for whatever they got. And then you want to come just take it away from them with a slick silver tongue. And it sucks. And I hate hearing about it because, listen, by the time I hear about it, it's a disaster. It's not just a little bit of money, not a couple hundred here, a couple hundred. Man, we're talking thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars that people are surrendering for nothing. Nothing. Okay? Now, I could be a real badass, and I could show you this little picture here on my phone where somebody took their T-Mobile bill and they got a negative 51.66 cents back. That's a credit. And they didn't send a credit card, debit card, cashier's check, cash. Do you see me selling that? Do you hear me telling you anything about that? No. You just heard it for the first time. I told you I have people in the background. They're constantly doing this, constantly working to pierce the veil. So don't think I've ever stopped, because I haven't. I'm just not listening until you have proof of concept and proof of success, and it's working twice. So we're close, folks. There's another process that I did that I haven't mentioned yet, and I'm waiting on the just desserts for that. So I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 days into that. Got a little bit more to go. So as soon as I get it, you'll hear about it. And there we go. So let's get back to the woman of honor, Patricia Moreno. If you don't know who I'm talking about, figure it out. So I'm going to bring my guest on. We're going to talk about this and let you hear it for yourself. How you doing tonight?
Well, how are you?
I'm hanging in there, man, doing my thing, trying to, keep everybody up and alert on reality.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wish I had stumbled across your platform before the bamboozle I just landed in, but I'm glad I came across you and that you're blessing me with the opportunity to share some truth so that it goes out there so that other people don't fall into that same pitfall and snare of a trap that I did.
Absolutely. Do you want to do an introduction to who you are or anything? I'll just give you the floor and just tell your story.
Awesome. Thank you. Little introduction. I'm retired, medically injured, wounded warrior from the United States Air Force, multiple deployments overseas. Came home at 27 years old, medically retired from some pretty profound events and was told that I'd be lucky to make it to 30 years old. And the last 17 years of my life have been a struggle to maintain my health, my physical health, to exist here on this world today. And through those years, I did the best I could to reshape myself as a conservator, steward, and plowshare of the earth, to come home as a weapon of war, reshaping all of that into who I am today. That led to me being down the path of sovereignty and grace for my own self-recovery and redemption of what that means, coming home through the indoctrination of what I call the belly of the industrial war machine. And I've come home to find myself in a situation where I am at the receiving end of a severe identity theft scenario that led to me needing to find an individual or an outsource of somebody who could help me secure all of my real property into a trust. The given birth name that I received by my parents has been compromised at all levels, from a receipt from the Department of Defense, from confirmation from Social Security Department, from confirmation from the credit bureaus. I've even been reported as deceased to the credit bureaus. So there's no way for me to proceed forward with even clarifying myself right now without finding somebody to help me proceed through this process. And being that I live in a pretty rural community and this is outside of the ordinary, somewhat of an oddity of a situation, I was even referred by my local community to reach outside where I live, because the bigger cities are going to have more experience with these oddity of a situation. So with my best of ability as brain injured, trauma recovered adult, who struggles with ocular issues, which is partly why I'm not showing my face today. I have extreme light sensitivity from a brain injury, and I navigated the internet the best I could to find a scenario or a source of help that would lead to a trust. And because I talked to some attorneys, some paralegals, and everybody's like, oh man, you need a trust to secure all of your real property. And this is the only way you can really stop this, whoever this identity theft culprit is, from really proceeding forward. And they've already done some pretty heinous and damaged my life. That's already affected my personal public persona. If you could imagine what it does when one day you've been told that you're deceased and everything that you say you own outright is now in debt, when you know you actually owed no debt. My whole life's been turned upside down, inside out, and destroyed by whoever this culprit was. And so when I came across this platform called lonewolfpack.net, I saw this gentleman talking about, and it was a gentleman going by Patric, So if there's a woman Patricia before, I'm now dealing with the Patric, the male, and Patric.
That's my nickname. Sorry, Kevin. That's my nickname for him because, okay, as I prefaced, when I put his real name up there, his full real name, he contacted YouTube and said I was violating his copyright.
Oh, I copy that. I understand now. Thank you.
So, yeah, that's why I call him Patricia. So he's a little coward. I mean, he's a backstabbing, cutthroat, and coward.
Yes, and and I'll tell you, it didn't take me 9 months to figure this out. And I'm a and I just want to clarify, I am housebound. I am disabled with a chronic deteriorating condition that makes me housebound. And all of everything I'm saying here on the public air today is everything that I expressed to Patricia, aka Patric, and we had a very in-depth conversation, much more than we probably have the time to go into today on your air. And on the February of 11th, I sent out my email request to the lonewolfpack.net because this gentleman, after watching maybe 10 videos, I felt sound in my choice of, oh, this individual is presenting something, and at some point in time, he talked about this pure equitable trust and how this is one of the ways that you can stop basically the thief in the night, so to speak, from coming and stealing all your stuff. So I reached out to them, sent them a nice, 3-paragraph, 4-paragraph explanation of what I'm going through. The next day, on the 12th of February, I received a phone call from his frontline desk assistant, and she was so excited to hear from me, but grieved for me, but was already had the culprit now we talk out at hand, Patricia Patric, on the phone from lonewolfpack.net saying that he's got time to speak with me. And there's this moment that I can seize right now. And so I seize the moment and get put on a 3-way conference call on the 12th of February, which is Thursday. And after 15-20 minutes of explaining my whole scenario, and Patric puts me back on the phone with his assistant and says, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on a Zoom call. So Friday, he agreed to meet with me at 9 a.m. on a Zoom call, my time. And his assistant told me in order to proceed with that appointment, what they would need from me is as much information as possible, documents from the deed of trust, from the mortgage company of record on my real estate home, to a copy of my medical retirement recommendation from Walter Reed Army Medical Center because of the quality of life recommendation I should have and be afforded, to documents like even a copy of my retirement certificate. And in this conversation of asking what all these documents would be used for, again, I was assured and promised that all of these documents would be used for the necessary information by Patricia Patric, the lone wolf, to create this pure equitable trust for me. And that I had just given him verbally all of the necessary information for a pure equitable trust, but he's going to need copies of all of this uploaded to a shared file for him so that he can work on it and extract the necessary information to create this pure equitable trust. And I'm going to need to give them the fee of $2,500. So being that I'd been told, things like 15,000, 20,000, 5,000 just to meet with an attorney to proceed forward at their pay scale, being that I'm a disabled adult housebound on fixed income, $2,500, I'll just say was a triple treble hook in my cheek in that moment, because it was something that was financially within my reach at this time. But I can say right now, within 13 days from February 13th to the 26th of February, I went from providing over 80 documents and $2,500 to being told that he will not create me a trust. He does not create a trust for me. In fact, if anything, I will receive what he now referred to as a spin trust from the court once I identified myself and proved my standing to the court, in fact, on who I am, and that I am the heir of my estate, and that will give me back all the rights. And I did exactly what you just did. And after moments of silence, like you said, when the crickets hit the floor, I asked him literally, then what was the reason you guys had me upload over 80 documents, which in itself was painful for me as an adult who is extremely compromised by light? I have the diagnosis of extreme photophobia. And for me to stare at a white document is painful. For me to stare at a computer screen is extremely excruciating and painful. And I spent hours uploading over 80 personal documents and gave them $2,500 of my really hard-earned retirement that I can never change my body to go back and try to retrieve. To in that moment when I asked him, then why did I do all this? And why did you tell me you guys were going to create me a pure equitable trust? What he said to me was this: you're not a victim here. And we all know what that means.
What?
And so I had to digest a very tormenting amount of emotion over that night. And the next day I got back on the internet and spent several days looking for who to reach out to, what I should be doing with this. And that's when I stumbled across you and how you had already blown the whistle on this character perpetrating himself as a truthful, honest, God-loving individual who's going to serve mankind, especially someone like me in my nature, and using history of his father in the military to gut wrench me and tap into my heartstrings, and then to completely crack a joke at me like, you're not the victim here, so what are you complaining for?
Wow, that guy's a psychopath.
And all I could do was literally just take that moment and really try to exemplify the sovereignty and grace that I seek for myself every day of my life, ever since I've come home from the AOR, the war zone of Iraq. And it was a very confronting moment for me and my emotions. And it led to me to just really being humbled and humiliated for reaching out to the slippery tongue, the silver tongue. And in fact, I was the gazelle that got trapped and ensnared. And as soon as I did do what I was supposed to do, which is flee, and flee very fast. And that led to me contacting you. So I really just appreciate this opportunity, because for me, as what I refer to myself as a freedom fighter of our nation, I did not come home to have this happen to me. I'm more okay with accepting my physical disabilities and what I've incurred because of my own willing sacrifice to our country. But then to have these things done to me when it happens to my face, to lead to the pitfall with the dagger in my back. So as my contribution to our country and the citizens and the people of our communities, this is my voice, and this is all I can do, is tell you the truth. So thank you for listening and receiving it.
Man, thank you for your service, first of all, man. Thank you for your humility to be able to accept your circumstances and rise above all that and continue to fight. And God bless you. You know, I hear these stories, you know, I don't hear them every day like I used to, thank God, because they take so much out of me. You know, I become a heat sink for everybody else's baggage. And, you know, for those that out there that can absorb that and spin it off, man, God bless you. I absorb it and I hold it in, and then I have to release it somehow. That's why I like the gym so much, because I can go in there and focus, and, you know, that's me and the weights. That's it. Nothing to get involved.
Yeah, I can completely relate. I used to be a 205-pound muscle body. I'm down to 130 pounds now.
Wow.
And I miss the ability to have that realm of that decompartmentalization safe zone once to me, which was the weight, the iron, the fives, the tens, the 25s, 35s, 45s, counting those reps and math was a healthy outlet. So I can commend you, and I appreciate the fact that you do that. And I honor that for you too.
Oh yeah, it's all about health. You know, I don't care how much wealth you have. If you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to enjoy it. I mean, most people work 20 to 40, sometimes 50 years to enjoy that, and then they're in bad health. And once they quit working, their health declines, and they, you know, they don't get to enjoy it. At the beginning, before you came on, you can go to my website, thefearlessfloydshow.com, peruse there, find you a book or whatever you need, you feel you need, and I'll send it to you.
Oh my, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no problem. This book here, this is the On Trust, the original, has 7 different trusts in it. It may not be what you want. You might want something more specified, or you may just want an asset protection trust, and that's the book on that. So whatever you choose, man, I'll help you out. Like I did with Patricia's former students. If they need an affidavit from somebody who actually teaches classes, who publishes 15 books on trusts, has been operating a trust since 2019 with a verified bank account, I do submit affidavits to financial institutions, to law enforcement, or any type of investigators to support people like yourself who are victims, obviously. So anybody who's been damaged, hurt, would like to try to recoup their funds. How did you pay him? By credit card, debit card?
Yes, I was sent a payment link, a standard payment link like most people do today. Just received it in my email, and uploaded my payment information, which is a debit credit card, through the payment link.
Okay, you can contact your credit debit card provider. I'll speak to them. I'll submit an affidavit, whatever you need to dispute that charge and get your money back. And this isn't the first time that he's done this and the first time that I've done this. I've done it multiple times.
Okay.
So I'll definitely help you out. Try to recover all 2,500 of your funds, and plus get you on the right track, get you where you need to be, and get you some help. And I've been through identity theft. When I was in prison, somebody stole my identity, stole a whole bunch of prisoners' identity. It was an inside job. And I didn't even find out about it until they caught the guy. And the assistant attorney general in Georgia sent me a letter saying my identity was stolen. And I didn't, I was locked up 14 years, so I didn't understand, what that really meant in the digital age. And I got out and I couldn't get, 0 credit cards. When you have no credit, then nobody wants to give you anything. It's better to have bad credit. At least you have something to see. It was, it sucks. And I know exactly what you're going through. The reason he wanted all your documents is so he can hold you hostage and blackmail you, use it as leverage, which is horrible. Like I said, he's a psychopath. And I was locked up with a bunch of sociopaths and probably a few psychopaths. He's a psychopath. He has no morals, ethics, doesn't care, no remorse, no empathy, no sympathy. Wow. Unbelievable.
I really appreciate you being so candid and prompt to get me on the air today, because we need people to know. So thank you for helping. Thank you for helping keep us safe in this realm of what people are out there doing right now, man.
And you're welcome. Thank God you didn't pay $20,000 for a trust, and I've seen that.
Yes. Well, fearless Floyd. I just want to say thank you again, and thank you for all your listeners for hearing what I had to say today.
Let me ask you this: since you're a veteran, you served, You've been in combat, obviously, correct?
Yes.
What do you think about the situation we find ourselves in today with Israel, Iran, and everything else that's going on? I'd like to hear your opinion.
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is the first thing I've been telling all the young men in the community who've been knocking on my door wanting to talk to me as a reverend. and get my experience as a soldier. And I start with, first thing is to remember not to forget our breath, because in combat, and what most people are fearful of is what's going to happen when it comes here. And the first thing we need to not forget is the power of our breath. And in that, when I take my breath, I think what's happening is extremely uncalled for, as every other conflict, whether distraction or truly meaningful, the amount of fear right now that is impeding our society is a war in itself. And whether that is the full agenda or just a piece of it, it's already infiltrated our communities. The fact that the level of fear that our society and this nation has taken on right now from what is happening overseas, in my personal opinion, is really reminding me that our nation does need to come together right now, and we need to remember how to breathe and remember that our neighbors are our friends, and remember who our neighbors are, and be able to decipher who our neighbors are from these wolves that I've just recently come in contact with. Because the war, if we don't know what it looks like right here in front of us, how do we really experience it, what it's going to be like for our neighbors? And so for myself, without rambling, what I really think is going on is that if we see it happening here, that this is going to be a time and a shape shift of history that our society is unprepared for. We never thought we'd face again after the Second World War.
Yeah.
And if it does happen the way they're fear pressuring, the pressure of the fear is, I don't want to say it, but that is a piece of the Sun Tzu. That is a piece of the war machine, and that is part of the mastery of the mind and what they've already done to us, all of us as one people on this world. Right now, the fear factor is the most important thing we all can do as a society, is come together and shed that and realize that, you know, we are the one that this world really has looked to. And if we operate as a fear factor, what do you think the rest of the world receives? And if we have embodied the fear of what they have done in their own cultures, we have lost sight of who we are as a society, as a nation. We do not operate, we did not create and found and separate ourselves to be redeemed and recreate out of the thought or the notion of fear. We stepped away from all of that, and that is why we stand and stood so strong for many years. And what's going on is, it's an atrocity. I've seen it firsthand in ways that many people don't. And what we don't know, unless we know, as you know, is the things we don't know. And the things that us soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines, whatever we've seen over there from all generations of service that have fought in any war, we see and what we know is what we don't want to have any of those of our family and friends here back home to ever have to come to know. And with that, I really hope it doesn't hit our home side. I really hope there's a way for peace to be made, if that's what we want to call it. Because if we can't put an end to what's happening over there, I personally believe it's going to end up here.
Oh, it's coming here. I have no doubt it's going to come here. I don't know what that's going to look like, whether it's going to Middle East, Chinese, drug cartel. Trump's managed to piss everybody off.
Yes, and we know when there's a lot of anger in the room, people want to pick up the bat. And it doesn't matter if you've been the big brother or not. When you got a bunch of little brothers who are all angry and they're collectively angry at the big brother usually falls.
Yep.
And I just hope, and I've been praying for myself in my walk of life, talking with these young men out here that come with their young families. And when we hold our, what I would call the church gatherings here, our councils, that I really just try to help people understand that the fear, and even in the scripture, we're told to master that fear. And in and out of all of this, for me, that is my focus still, is to master the fear, even though I've seen it and walked it and lived it, and I'm dealing my physical penalties, results of being a part of it. Fear is something that I think if we can just really gain control of, then no matter what occurs, we will be much more successful.
Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you. I really do appreciate your opinion on that and what you're doing for, your fellow man.
Thank you, Floyd.
Very honorable of you. People like yourselves, I call y'all unsung heroes, because nobody knows what you're doing, but you're doing the right thing when nobody's looking. Right?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Anything else you want to add? Close? You're more than welcome to come on the show anytime you want. Just hit me up.
Awesome.
I'm in the process of dealing with some personal issues this month. So my schedule, I'm really not trying to schedule anybody. You contacted me. It was important I, get this story out. So I did. But I said,
maybe what before we get off the air, the next time I call you, I'd like to maybe breach grounds on the actual main focus of the passion of life and see where that can take, and maybe we'll bring something to the air. And with that, if we have another episode together, I'd love to be a part of that. And anything I can do to follow up with the story we just talked about for anybody else that falls into that pitfall, I think you can know now that I'll speak the truth to help anybody else as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anybody else out there, here's another witness, another affidavit to support, as well as mine. So, and anything you want to close with?
Well, yes. I'd like to take this time and say to everybody listening, to you and yours, may the abundance of love find you in this moment and every moment forward. Everything began from love. Everything we've received has been from love. Everything we do should come from love. And no matter what is occurring outwardly in the world, what we face inside ourselves is what truly matters. Let us not forget our family. Let us not forget our friends in this time that we are all facing in this world today. And with that, I just say, bless all of you, and may blessings in abundance be yours. May you all have a blessed night.
Amen. Thank you very much, Kevin, for coming on the show and sharing your story. And we'll definitely get you back on. Don't forget, go to thefearlessfloydshow.com, pick you out a book or two, whatever you need. I got you.
Thank you, Floyd. You have a great night.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kevin. There you go, folks. I don't try to do this as, a category on my platform. I just started covering these people that are out here lying to you, scamming you, stringing you along, wasting your time, money, and energy, feeding you a bunch of hopium. And it sucks, man. I watched just thousands of people just waste their time, money, and energy doing the same old stuff, watching the same people say the same thing they said a year ago, in the year before that, in the year before that, in the year before that. Because if you really want to vet somebody and they have a social media platform and they're trying to tell you, oh, good things are on the horizon, I want you to go back. This is how I vet people. Go back 1 year to the day. So go back to March 5th, 2025 and see what their video did on that day or around that time period. And then go back another year, 2 years deep, and then go 3 years deep, 4 years deep, 5 years deep, all the way to their very first video and see what they were talking about when they started their channel. And you'll see the evolution. You'll see where the money kicks in. And it's really sad that I have to do videos like this and I have to tell stories and I have to have guests that have stories like this. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to find the truth, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, detrimental, or beneficial. I'm just looking for it because that's all there is. I hope you came over here and learned something. If you have anybody that's experiencing anything similar to this, you can reach out to me, thefearlessflocho@yahoo.com. Y'all can call me, text me, share this video with them, say, hey man, I told you about this guy. Boom, here you go. Here's a story. Doesn't this sound familiar? Because everything I've heard from him, just, I've heard it before. It's an echo chamber in my head. All the stories sound the same. I'm smart enough to know that I'm not the smartest guy in the room. And if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm in the wrong damn house. I need to go somewhere else. I want to surround myself by people that are smarter than me and more intelligent than me, that make me have to keep up with them. That's why I love listening to Dr. Ed Group, because, man, I'm just fascinated by his breadth of knowledge. I don't think he ever stopped learning after he went to Texas Chiropractic College in Pasadena, Get Down, Texas. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. God bless you all. I want to thank Kevin, my guest, for coming on the show again. And I'm going to do a quick video after this just to show y'all that you probably should be listening to my videos. And I tell everybody this. Oh, you haven't been watching my shows? Okay. All you got to do is turn them on and listen. You don't have to watch the screen. I do that for a reason. So thank you again, everybody. Good night. I'll see you in, 10, 15 minutes.